You ever notice how the biggest, fanciest houses always seem the loneliest when the sun goes down? I grew up in one of those, the kind with pillars out front, grass cut so sharp you could shave with it, and not a speck of dust allowed on anything. People passing by would point and whisper, "That's real old money there." They had no idea, you know. On the outside, it looked perfect. On the inside, it was a lesson in how to feel small. My name's Tessa Carter, and I was adopted into the Langley family in Savannah, Georgia. One of those families where image is everything. They brought me in, a black girl in a sea of white faces, just so they could pat themselves on the back and look progressive to their rich friends. I was always so grateful to be there. Or at least, that's what everyone said I should be. Yeah, that happened. Every big event at the house, Evelyn Langley, the queen bee herself, would dress me up plain, always beige or gray, always standing to the side, not too close to the real family for any of the cameras to get the wrong idea. Carter Langley, the patriarch, was all about shaking hands and speeches, and Maris, their daughter, posed like she belonged in a magazine. Me, I was the background, the afterthought, the inclusion. I remember this one night real clear. We had a massive charity gala, people pouring in, laughter floating everywhere. Everyone looking like they'd stepped off the set of some movie about Southern charm. I'd just found out about a scholarship event for black students, an invitation with my name on it, something that actually celebrated people like me. Evelyn saw it, tore it up right in front of me. "Not your scene, honey. Be thankful for what you have." That one stung, but that's how it was. In their house, you didn't dream your own dreams. You just played your part. So, there I was, in that shapeless beige dress, watching the whole circus from behind a curtain upstairs. I could see them all. Carter with his politician friends, Maris giggling for the camera, Evelyn floating around the garden like royalty. I pressed my hands to the window, steadying myself, telling myself to get through just one more night. The worst part? I'd gotten real good at disappearing, serving drinks, smiling politely, making myself useful but invisible. Folks would call me exotic under their breath, never bothering to look me in the eye. That's armor, you know, being invisible. Right when I thought I could just melt away and make it to the end of the night, Carter stood up and called me forward. "Tessa, come join us." His voice all warm honey for the crowd, but I knew what was coming. They tied me to a column in the middle of the party, silk rope and everything, laughing like it was some sweet family joke. Cameras flashed. Laughter echoed. Maris giggled into her champagne. Evelyn smiled at the crowd like this was just a charming tradition. My cheeks burned, but I kept my chin up. What else could I do? If I cried, I'd just prove them right. Then, as the laughter was peaking, a deep engine rumbled up the driveway. People turned, eyebrows raised, and out of a black Mercedes stepped Damon Monroe. My husband. He wasn't from their world. He was taller, sharper, had a way of moving like nothing scared him. He didn't say a word, just walked right through the crowd, cut the rope off my wrists, and took my hands in his. "You okay?" he whispered, but loud enough for half the party to hear. I nodded, though my heart was pounding so hard I could barely breathe. Damon turned to the crowd, eyes hard as steel. "Which one of you thought this was okay?" Not a sound. He didn't let up, just pulled out a thick envelope and showed it to Carter. "This house, it's not yours anymore. Tessa's been paying your bills, saving your legacy, all while you stood here parading her around like a prize. When she ran out of ways to help, she asked me to step in and save your estate. I bought it. For her." Dead silence. Carter looked like he might faint. Evelyn looked ready to cry. Maris just stared, for once out of poses. People started shuffling away, their shoes loud on the gravel. Staff hovered, not sure who was boss anymore. I caught the eye of one server, a young girl, and just said, "You can head home now. Thank you." She nodded and vanished. Evelyn disappeared inside, Carter stumbling behind her. Maris lingered, eyes full of questions she'd never ask me. For the first time, I walked through that house like I owned it. I looked at the portrait of us all. Me, smiling way too hard. Everyone else so sure of their place. And took it down. Laid it face down on the marble floor. I didn't have to break it. I just didn't want to see it anymore. Damon asked if I wanted to leave, start over somewhere new. I thought about it, really did, but I shook my head. This place owes me more than a quiet exit. He smiled, squeezed my hand, and we stepped out onto the front steps together. The air was lighter somehow. For the first time, I wasn't holding my breath. So yeah, that's how the underdog finally won. Not with a fight, not with revenge, but with truth, and by refusing to hide. I don't know what's next. Maybe I'll stay. Maybe I'll turn this place into something that matters, something honest. Maybe I'll walk away and never look back. What about you? If you'd been in my shoes, would you have stayed and claimed your space? Or would you have walked away for good? Have you ever been treated like a background character in your own story? Let me know in the comments. Let's talk about what justice and dignity really mean, and how sometimes just standing tall is the win that changes everything. If this hit close to home, hit that like button, subscribe, and share your story. I bet more folks need to hear it than you think.